Hello boys, welcome back to another session of online biology video tutorials. This session is meant for class 11th biology students and this is for 10th July 2021. As all of us know, we have been discussing about chapter number 3, Plant Kingdom. And in that, we said that all the plants are divided into two groups in a major way. Plants with the seeds and plants without seeds. And we are going to discuss today, since we have covered all the groups, algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, seedless plants, already we have covered in our previous session. And in this session, we are going to talk about the seeded plants, plants having seeds. Now the question is, if the plant has got seeds, are they covered or not? If they are not covered and seeds are exposed naked, then we say all those plants as gymnosperms. Gymnos means naked, sperms means seeds. So naked seeds, plants having naked seeds are called gymnosperms. So as I said, gymnosperms are plants in which the ovules are not, of course ovules are seeds, are not enclosed by ovarian wall or ovary wall and remain exposed before and after fertilization. Seeds that develop post-fertilization are naked. They don't have coverings. As you are seeing here, cycas, this is the best ornamental plant that we grow. And look at the ovules of the cycas. They are naked. They are not covered. Hence, they come under gymnospermae. So, gymnosperms are plants in which the ovules are not enclosed, as we said, by any ovarian wall. So, they are naked. So, here you can see how they are naked. Gymnosperm ovule. There is integument, then micropylar region, as we discussed. Okay, in the opening, small opening. And then there is a nutritive tissue called nucellus. This nucellus provides nutrition for the growing embryo. And then there is megasporocyte. Similarly, that is in gymnosperm, whereas in angiosperm, look at this ovarian wall. This is the difference between that. This pink one is the difference. Ovarian wall is covering the entire seed. And of course, the megasporocyte as usual, funiculus, micropylar region, and of course tail and ovary on top, and integuments are covering this, giving protection. And in both gymnosperm as well as angiosperms, there is presence of nucellus, which is a nutritive tissue. So gymnosperms include medium-sized trees or tall trees and shrubs. So all are there in this, shrubs as well as trees and very tall trees. So in gymnosperms, the one that you are seeing in the left side, look at that, tallest tree species, that is sequoia, that is giant redwood. This is the tallest tree. It has got a record. And the roots are generally tap roots. So from fibrous root there is improvement, from fibrous root to tap root. And roots in some genera have fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza. Again, this is important concept. What is mycorrhiza? It is a symbiotic relationship between the roots of higher plants with fungus. So fungi, why are you calling it as symbiotic relationship? Symbiosis means mutual help, as all of us know. And fungus provides protection to the roots of the higher plants. So that is a plus for the plant, higher plant. And in turn, as a gratitude, the higher plant gives nutrition to the fungus. So it is win-win situation for both. Hence, mycorrhiza is a symbiotic relationship, mutual help relationship. Look at this pinus. Now you can see the mycorrhiza, pinus roots with mycorrhiza. This is the short roots, long roots, and then the fungus presence. You can see mycorrhizal short roots in this way, and when we expand that under high resolution, you can see the presence of fungus in the roots. So this symbiotic relationship is called mycorrhiza. Continuing with that, in plants like cycas, which is a beautiful ornamental plant, small sized roots called coralloid roots are associated with nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. So there is here, it is not fungus, it is blue-green algae. So blue-green algae also is associated with coralloid roots of the cycas, gymnosperms. So stems are unbranched. There is no branching as I have seen in cycas, or it can be branched like in pinus and citrus. So you can see the lot many branches of the stem in the pinus as well as citrus. Leaves are simple or compound. They are well adapted to withstand extreme temperature, humidity and wind. So they have got lot of adaptations to overcome the problems of the environment. In cycas, as you are seeing, the pinnate leaves. Remember in class 11th, before this we studied pinnate and palmate. So pinnate leaves persist for few years. In conifers, that is pinus and cedrus, the needle-like leaves reduce the surface area. So since it is needle shaped, naturally the surface area gets reduced. The area that is exposed to sunlight will be drastically reduced, so that there is not much of evaporation of water or moisture from the leaf. So this is an adaptation. And along with this shape, needle shape, they have thick cuticle. So presence of cuticle will prevent the evaporation of water. And then third adaptation is presence of sunken stomata. So stomata will be normally beans sheet shape or cashew nut shape. But in this, sunken stomata will be there. There is a change in the shape in the stomata. So presence of needle shaped leaves, presence of cuticle on the surface of the leaf, presence of sunken stomata greatly reduce water loss. So this is the greatest adaptation that gymnosperms undergo. What about reproduction? Gymnosperms are heterosporous, means hetero means different. Different spores are there. That means in size and shape, both the spores will vary. So they are producing haploid microspores. Micro means small, small sized spores, but then remember they are haploid, n number. And megaspores, big sized ones, but then they are also n. As you are able to see in cycas, male Strobilius, this is the male one, and in female, this is the female. So see the difference between male and female Strobilius. So some leaves are modified into sporophylls. They are compactly and spirally arranged along the axis to form cones or Strobilius, as you are seeing here. Disc shaped arrangement is there. See, look at that disc shaped arrangement. And these sporophylls become what we call cones or strobilo they form. And once this form, you can see the male cone, and the longitudinal section when we take, in the microsporophylls there will be presence of pollen grains, and microsporangium will be there. Remember we talked about microsporogenesis. And then in cycas, same, that is female, megasporophylls will be there, their ovules will be there, and the megasporogenesis will form the megaspore ovum. So sporophylls bear sporangia in which spores are produced. So first sporophyle, it's nothing but a group of leaves, and the sporophylls will bear sporangia, and the sporangial cell will undergo meiosis and form spores. The sporophylls are of two types, as we said, microsporophyll and megasporophyll, big and small. The microsporophylls are arranged to male strobili, that is microsporangiate. They bear microsporangia. So microspores develop into male gametophytes. It is highly reduced and confined to only a limited number of cells. This gametophyte is called pollen grain. As you are able to see, presence of lot many pollen grains in the microsporangium. The pollen grains are developed within the microsporangia. They are all situated within the microsporangia in the male cone. Whereas megasporophylls, they are arranged to female strobili. It's called macrosporangiate or megasporangiate. They bear megasporangia. You can see here presence of megasporangia ovules. And the megasporangium mainly consists of a body called nucellus. I said nucellus is the nutritive tissue and it is protected by envelopes, layers. The megaspore mother cell is differentiated from a cell of the nucellus. You can see here the presence of nucellus. So MMC, megaspore mother cell. So megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis to form 4 megaspores. So one megaspore mother cell MMC undergoes meiosis and forms 4 megaspores. One of the megaspores enclosed within the megasporangium, that is nucellus, develops into a multicellular female gametophyte that bears 2 or more archegonia. Archegonia again, female reproductive structure. The multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within megasporangium. So when we take the longitudinal section of ovule, this is how it appears. So there is a opening called micropyle on one side, and then there is presence of outer fleshy layer, then storage layer in the midsection, pollen chamber is present, inner fleshy layer, 3 layers are there, archegonial chamber is there, presence of nucellus, I said nutritive tissue that provides nutrition to the growing embryo, presence of prothallus, then of course archegonium and vascular bundles, that is presence of xylem and phloem. So the male or female cones may be born on the same tree like in Pinus. Both will be there, male as well as, or on different trees like in Cycas. Unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes, in Gymnosperms, the male and the female gametophytes do not have an independent free living. Remember we said prothallus, here nothing like that. There is no independent free living existence. They remain within this sporangia, retained on the sporophytes. So they always remain with the sporangium. The pollen grain released from the microsporangium are carried in air currents and meet the opening of the ovules. The pollen tube carrying the male gametes grow towards archegonia in the ovules and discharge their contents near the mouth of the archegonia. So this facilitates the fusion of nucleus of pollen grain with the nucleus of the ovum. Fertilization takes place, zygote is formed. So after fertilization, zygote develops into an embryo and the ovules into seeds. So here you can see the presence of sporophyte, the adult plant, and this has got microsporophyll and megasporophyll. So microsporophyll, microspores, pollen content, pollen cones, Strobilius we say, and both of them produce the microspore as well as megaspore. Fusion of that takes place. As a result of fusion, zygote is formed and the zygote will develop into the seed. You can see the fertilization, zygote formation, and then zygote is becoming a seed. You can see the stored food, okay, and then the seed develops into an adult. This is how the life cycle of the gymnosperm take place. In our next session, we will be discussing about angiosperms. As I have been telling you every time, I keep reminding you that being a biology student must draw beautiful diagrams. After drawing beautiful diagrams, label it. And